Welcome to the Paint Basket online classes today, and we're going to go and visit an old mill. It's been in use for many years, and it's taken a rest. It's become a monument. So I think we've much ado. Let's go and have a look and see what it looks like. Right, there we have a nice photograph of this mill, and have a look. It's almost like if you sort of half close your eyes and look through your eyelashes, it's almost like an even toned painting. So we're going to have to do something to make it more dramatic, stand out a little bit more. And that's the interesting part. It is very seldom do I ever paint a painting that is exactly as per the photograph. The big thing is what to leave out. That is the main thing. And there's a lot going on in the background. So we're going to leave out quite a bit. We're not going to make it look so intricate. We want the actual building itself to be the actual main attraction, and this is the area where the water wheel is. That is going to be our main focal point. So let's see what we can do about that. So here we have got these trees with a myriad of branches and stuff. We're going to only put in a few of those. This tree is on the end. You can see in the template I've moved that tree to about this area here, so we don't want something right on the very edge of the painting. So you've got some nice color, you've got some dark range, and this is your darkest area, and it's got the more detail in. So we're going to do that. You can see it hasn't been used for a long time. The windows are open, it's getting a bit dilapidated, and even the water is hardly even flowing. You can see there's a little trickle in this corner here, but I don't think we're even going to put it in. Well, we'll have a look and see. And there's a little bridge that goes across this little stream. But in the template, what we've got is this little piece down in here. Now, I know I've got it in the template, but I've decided right on the spur of the moment now as to not put that in, because it's a bit of a jumble. I don't know whether somebody's taken some plants and sort of grown them up with twisted them in to make all these grotesque things, but because of that, people are going to, instead of looking here, they're going to be looking at that. So I haven't even put mine, transferred it. I've just left it as it is. I'm just going to leave that alone. It's almost like it's a part of a little fancy bridge. Sort of looking at it right at this moment, with that water that's coming down here. So it could be a little bridge. It looks like a pathway coming down here as well. So it could be a bridge to come down onto this side. But it's too jumbled up for anybody to really see what's going on. Okay, so the first thing we do is that we come along and we decide to put our masking fluid in. When you're working with watercolors, first thing you do is to preserve all your whites or all the light colors, especially when you in the very dark area. So we're going to be sort of the wheel, these little posts across here, and even though this is a little bit darker than the background, I'm still going to put some masking fluid into there and a few little masking fluids down in here, and in the trees, and a few of these branches in the trunk that's coming up. So let's go over and do that. So I'm going to take my template off. My Now I've got my sketch underneath that, so I'm just going to use this one here. It's small stuff, so I'm going to be using this time just a tiny little brush to do that. So let me just get my, here it is, little tiny little palette to put my masking fluid in. And the masking fluid I'm using is Winsor & Newton art masking fluid. There's Dollar Rowney, there's quite a few other ones. Whatever masking fluid you've got, that should work okay. They got these little child-proof things, and if you don't press it down hard enough, it doesn't open properly. Okay, I'm going to just pour a tiny bit in here. Oops, that's more than enough. Now let's put the cover on. And I've got water on the side here. Actually, let me put it more up the top end here, so I don't have to go over the painting so much. So what I'll do is I'll wet my brush and come in and pick up some masking fluid, and I'm going to put these trees, all these trunks, and put these masking fluid in. First do the main work, and then we'll put some of the little twigs in afterwards. Right, I'm going to clean get the masking fluid off so it doesn't harden on the brush. Come back and just do these ones across here. Thing with a tiny little brush, you've got to keep on dipping. Just put a few little marks on there as it disappears in the foliage. You got a piece across here, it's catching the sunshine on that little wall. So clean the brush. And at the top here, we got these little squares. And we got the windowsills. Right, let's see where. Okay, all these little areas here, there's a piece of sunlight in this corner. Got this bar across the top here, and that little hole strap. And there's another little one down the bottom here too. We got this post. Clean the brush again. Gotta periodically do that. Now we're going to do the water wheel. Preserve that because we put the spokes, because there's dark in between the spokes. A piece down here. And got bushes on both sides, so we need to preserve these little stones. And what else? Right. That, got that. I'm going to do these ones here. Let's have a look and see what else there is. Clean the brush. Yeah, there's a little see-through part on this other little window, so let's put that in here. There. And then we need to preserve some of these little bushes across here, little leaves, so I'm going to just do a lot of little dabbings in this corner. That's going to be dark, and you got all these little leaves coming in, so just come in here. We got some branches coming over with some leaves. Maybe another one in here. Some little branches. Where else? Where else? Okay, what we need to do is now take a rigger brush and add in all the little fine little twigs. Let me just take my rigger brush, which is this one here with the long thin hair. Take that and let's go over to the picture quickly. And inside this area across here, there's a lot of little twigs and thinner little branches, and on the right hand side as well. So, and then we got a few on this side. We'll add a few little random ones in there just to break up some of the heavy places. So let's go back to the painting. I'm going to wet that, bring in some masking fluid and a lot of little random twigs coming off. Just add a whole stack in. If you think you've done too many at a later stage, you can always paint them in. Take some of these ones sort of going out the tops as well. Take out here. And let's say there's some running in here. Let's clean the brush. Let's go to down this corner and put in a whole, there's sort of big bushes and stuff inside here, but as long as these long little leaves or branches, it's come out, a few little dots. Let's see, a few in here. And up top here, you're going to have some of these branches coming out. And that's going up a bit. Some, let's say, come behind the roof, out that way. Some of these here will also come behind the roof. A whole little twigs and stuff in this area. All these little shrubs. And where can we put a few, maybe a few just in here. I think that should be enough. Oh yes, there's some nice little ones. Yeah, sort of hanging over this bridge into this dark area. Put them very thin though. Let's put a few little ones that are sort of don't want to overdo it, that's enough. And now dry it. And we can start with our painting, but first of all we just put this masking fluid that's left over back into the bottle. Good. Put that aside. Tighten up the lid, and we need to just clean that out. We don't want that to solidify inside here. So you got that nice and clean. Okay, you can put that aside. Now we need to decide. Take that away. What we're going to do in the background. Now I'm going to make a light mauvey color in the back to give it that warm distance in with a whole lot of trees and shrubs and stuff. There's no sky, anything through. It's just plain wooded area in the back. So let's take here, let's build up some, I've got that, let's take some water in here from the tub, and I'm going to build up some of that grey, so I'm going to put some in here, some water. I can put that to the side, and I'm going to use some cobalt blue. You can use ultramarine, not a problem. You can even use cerulean if you've got. All it does, it just gives you a different grey. I need a piece of paper also to see. We don't want it too light. So take a little touch of alizarin crimson in. Give it a grey, bluey purple. There we go. I don't want it too red. Let's check it. Okay, I think that's good enough for the background. Gives you that see-through feeling. Okay, and let's go. We drop some in the background. Let's do that. I'm going to take some of this purple color. It's going to look quite violent here at the moment, but we're going to be dropping other colors in it. And across the top. Because there's a lot of shrubbery at the back, foliage, you don't have to try and get this smooth because we'll be working quite a bit in dropping colors and all sorts of stuff in there. Bring that down to there. We've got a bush there, a bush across here, so let's leave that in. Now you can see where I've all the masking fluid. And let's go to this side. Nicely down the side of the roof. Down to there. And yeah. Don't go further down than that. Let that stay splotchy, that's fine. Be nice. Just drop some whole stacks inside here. I just want the top corners and that to be a little bit more darker. And the reason for that is I want the eye to be pushed in towards the actual building, which is lighter. And we can do that. Now I'm going to mix a little bit of green. I'm going to take some Viridian. Now, Viridian on its own is a very strong color. So, and it's unnatural for foliage. But I'm going to mix some other color into it to bring it into a more natural color. So let's go into there. You can see what I'm doing. I've taken some alizarin, Viridian into here, and I'm going to touch a little bit of burnt sienna into it. In other words, I'm graying it down a little bit. So we got that. Okay, now I want to drop some of this darker color in pretty close to the edge of the building and a little bit over the top here. So I've got that nice silhouette, although not the silhouette but the dark against the light. down this corner here as well too. And down into here. Drop some up the top. I need to mix some more, didn't do enough. These are slightly wet, so it'll all merge nicely into the rest. And a few little greens up the top. Makes it a little bit more of the color. Exactly the same as I did before, just a little bit more. I'm going to drop some in. This is just a little bit more the browny side. You do get that in leaves are not always green. Quite a lot of brown color sometimes coming in. So let's put that in, so let that merge a bit. Get that nicely along the edge of the roof. Straighten that nice side. Okay, so slowly getting that in. Ah, that is wet. This whole, I think there's a lot of foliage at the back. We're going to drop a few other little colors in as well. Now to make this one down the bottom a little bit darker. A little bit more the brown side. More of the earth sort of shining through. Now I'm going to take a bit of yellow. Also drop a few little patches in. Some of this sun coming in, give it some bit of sunshine. A lot of sun onto this one as well, so there will be sun also coming into these foliage. Just very random. Just put some random in. Then let it merge with all the other. A little bit more sunshine. Okay. Just check that all the edging is nice and clean. Paint has gone right to the edge. Okay. So while that is drying, let's do a little bit here and put some dark into this. So I'm going to go back here, come in, take some more burnt sienna. Just in here, very little water, quite concentrated. A little bit of ultramarine blue in there. Gives me a really dark, very dark brown. What I'm after, very, very dark brown. So we got that. Okay. So let's go back to painting. Now let's have a look. And all this area here under the bridge, so let's paint all that here. I'm just sort of giving it a scattered end in this area. So when we come to the green, these two tend to dovetail in. So let's get that. Darken all this little area. Down to this point. Of course, across here, there's like a little channel that comes as a wooden one that drops the water onto the wheel. Then we get underneath that. To there, we can go over this wheel. Because we've done the masking fluid there, so we go right in, go right over it. Let's take a smaller brush and work that in here. So let's work that in here. Underneath. Don't go above that. Then we've got a slat across here. We've got another one there. So we need to put all that is in between. So you can see something starting to show up there now. We've got a nice little shrubbery inside. Got all that. You can use this dark color in here as well. So let's go in and do the windows. Use a tiny brush. Get this edges nice and square. Straighten it up a bit. This one in here. See, once we start putting these dark colors in, the painting is starting to take shape. You start getting that nice tonal range coming up. You got this one. You got masking fluid there. We just go straight over the masking fluid. Right down there. Now we got the little doorway here as well. fill that in. And any looking into that, what we do is we'll lift the color out as we need it. So let's go straight over that. That's where you got your hand railing. It's like a little bridge that's going across here. And once in there, let's just hit that corner a little bit more. Right, we've got this one you can't see inside, but it's got that shadow. The same on this corner here. To keep the same angle across there. This one too has got a bit of a shadow. This one down here. Where we got some other nice darks. There's some dark. Under there, shadow under the lintels, not the lintels, the sills. The lintels, the one on the top. Okay. There's some other little darker areas inside, so let's put in between the bushes down to the ground. Trim in between. Down on the side here. This is where the bushes are, little bits of openings inside. We just put a few in, just to give it some shape. Across here, there's a. Let's see where that goes. We're just going to sort of add this in on our own here. So let's put that here. There's stone. And that sort of comes down into the there are bits and pieces here in between these stones. And these all the little gaps. Some places here I'm just putting my own little gaps in. There's a slab that goes over the top here. All different angles. Now we got this door. And we need to fill that in here. And try and get that straight, that line straight, because that's also part of all this brickwork, stonework. Just adds part of the character to it. And go over that. over all this inside here. And let's just put a little bit underneath there. Okay, so I think what to do, let's put the hairdryer on that in the meantime. Right, we can come back with the hairdryer. So I just did that so we don't smudge this down here. So I'm going to get some more of this dark. And I'm just turning this very slightly so it's easy for me to hear. And here we've got some shadows of all this guttering that goes across here. Go across this one here because we have got some, hopefully we got some masking fluid there. I can't remember whether I did it all, but anyway, do that. Across there. And then we've also got the shadows of these little pieces coming down. The other one, yeah. Right, we've got some other dark that we can put in afterwards. But I've just seen something here. We need to just lift out a bit of this green, or this corner of the roof here. Just wetting my brush and working that corner. And we lift out that little, sharpen this corner up here. There we go. Right. So let's start to do some of this background across here now. And that's little touches of yellow ochre in there. And a little touch of orange, and let's take a bit of yellow ochre. Just here in with this green. And that'll give you some nice lighter shrubbery into this area. We just tap it over this lot we've got in here. And I want a little touch of orange, cadmium orange in there. So let's take a bit of this orange and give it a bit of a orangey color. Very light. Let's put that to the side. Let's test it here. Now, there's a nice brown ground color, but we need it a little bit more watery at this stage. Okay. Let's go. We need to add some in here. Just block it in. Just blocking in the colors and some of the ground behind this lot in there towards the house. And across there. And where else do we have? Let's put a little bit of ground here. I've got like a wall there, so let's roughen up this edge. And let's say the stream's going to come through this side. We'll work on that. Now we can see the area inside here. It's quite a bit brown. You know, we've got some logs in this area, brickwork rather, across here, holding up over this. Is like a how should I put it? It's almost like a weir, and it's dammed up the water, so that the water will then run from here across this little sluice through over into the wheel. So we need to show a little bit of that brickwork, so a little bit of a damp brush. Let's zoom in this area a bit where I'm working. Into there, and I'm taking some water and lifting out some of this color here. Take that, just dab ever so lightly. So you've got some movement inside. There's another little layer down the bottom here. Let's move another little bit here. Doesn't have to be exactly the same where the other one is. We're just giving that movement there, and somewhere across here too we've got some verticals, so let's clean a bit of a vertical here, maybe another one here. And let's put another little vertical down here. Now there we got something happening inside the shadow area. Right, we got that. We got a bit of this rustic color. I'm going to put that over this here where the wheel is. And a darker one that's going to color coming down here. The one that's in shade. And down there, so a lot of shade in here. So let's just do that. And inside here too, you got some also little darker areas. Here's also a few little darker areas, so let's put some shadows in here. And I'm going to take some yellow in this area. In that mishmash, that's not a problem. And we've got this nice color for this area here, so let's draw that in here. Slowly building that up. Here I'm going to make a darker green. I'm going to put some of this Viridian into this burnt sienna patch. Give it a bit of a darker green. Now that I'm toning the bright color that's too bright, bringing it down, also touching it over these little areas. I'm giving shapes, I'm not doing any defining of any leaves at all. The only defining is going to be little areas where we've put the masking fluid. All these others are just shapes. Let's bring that in right against the edges. Some of that. Now I need some very dark green, so I'm going to take some more Viridian. You can see that violent, bright color, which is foreign to most leaves. And a little touch of burnt sienna into it. Gives you a nice dark green. So let's, while this is wet, and what happens, this may look dark now, but it'll actually dry lighter in a short while's time. So let's just put those in. We can come over this and block some other colors in. So here we need to sort of put some shadow areas. I'm going to take those masking fluid off there in a little while's time. In the meantime, we need to just get some of this color in. It's nice and dark underneath the shadow area of these bushes. Some of that's going to disappear behind here, so let's do that. And there we're starting to build that up. Put a few little darker little bush at the back. It's very impressionistic. can still be much lighter. So what we can do, I've got some of this yellow, and it's reasonably opaque, this particular one. So let's touch some of the yellow inside here. Usually yellow is very transparent, but for some reason this yellow that's inside here is quite opaque. So you can put this right over the top of all these other ones, almost like gouache. So some inside, get some of the darker patches in between. We can always come back to that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a few, let's put a little, some of this, a bit of a brighter bush across here. Just soften those edges a bit. Get rid of those sharp edges and give it a bit of a, straight line merged in. Take a bit of that and darken that little corner. And I'm going to, right, let's put the hairdryer on there first. I'm going to lighten the little piece in the top, give it a bit of distance, so let's do that. Okay, I'm going to take a little bit of this opaque yellow and I'm going to just add some, take a bit into here, and oh, look at the little leaves. Just randomly, a bit more in there. Some of these trees on the side also coming out around here. It's just to sort of get some movement inside. The side here as well too, so let's put some sunshine in here. And there we can see it's starting to take shape nicely. A few more little ones just on the side here. Okay. This is what I wanted to do. Let's dry. I wanted to lift some of this sunshine right in this area. So sunshine quite a way away. And let's say there's some sunshine in here. So it's not just all one color. Now I'm going to remove all this masking fluid. Let's see. Okay. Before I do that, there's a bit of a grey. If I take this masking fluid off, there's all this tree shadow. This tree is here is throwing shadow across. And it's like a bluey purple. So I'm going to put that in before I take this masking fluid off here. So let's go and mix a little bit of bluey purple. So I'm going to take some ultramarine blue with a little touch of viridian, alizarin crimson, a little touch more blue, a little touch more blue. And let's see, check the shade. There's a nice shade. So let's just clean brush. And pick up a little bit of that. And then add a little bit of the shadow in here. It's a bit more bluer than what you see there in the photograph. But this adds to the nice character. So let's put that in. And there's some blue across here. Some more up top. All the trees are throwing some across. And there's quite a bit of shadow down in this area. Right, I think while I've got that as well, I'm going to take some of that, and this is shadow area on this side of the building. I'm going to take some, and I'm going to carefully put that in without disturbing the dark. So you're going to come next to it. If you have to go over it very lightly. Or you're going to have some shadow color on here as well, on this side of the building. And going that very lightly over that. And there. And this area here as well. So let's take some of that. All this brickwork here has also got in, or the stonework has also got this nice grey color in. So let's put that in here. Very light. Don't put it a heavy color at this stage. Just enough to take that white of the paper away. And I'm going to drop a little bit more, let's see, of this blue in the top and down this side. Let that fade away. And a bit more down in here. So we got that grey, the shadow here, those stones. Okay, so there we can see the ball starting to take shape, and we need to dry that and take masking fluid off so we can work in here. So right back to the hair dryer. You see what I've done here in the shadow area is I've had that warm color in, and then I dropped a little touch of blue into it. So there's a combination of actually of warm and blue in this shadow area. And the top end here with this overhang, and that the sun coming from this side is that has got your bit darker, and I've left this down the bottom. Not the same color all the way down, otherwise it's too boring. It's lighter here too because the sunshine at the bottom is also reflecting up against this wall from here. So that you'll have that dark across there, a little bit lighter down the bottom. Now these are little things that you can do to change. You can see I've not kept the same color as in the photograph. It's not easy to see in that one there which is which, but we the artists, we can come along and change what we need to. So we're going to take some more of this color that I've used for the shade, and we're going to block in the roof a bit later on. But first of all, let's get rid of all this little masking fluid in this area. Actually, I think before I take it off, I've got some masking fluid that goes over the top. So let me put that is going to be a darker grey, so let's mix a little bit more. Time to put some more water. I'm going to mix up some more. Ultramarine blue with some burnt sienna. No, that's not what I wanted. I want ultramarine blue and alizarin crimson. That gives me a too grey. Right, let's leave that little piece there. We may need some of it. So let's go back here. Ultramarine blue with a touch of alizarin crimson into it. And let's test it. It's a little bit too blue, so I'm going to add a little touch of burnt sienna into that. Just a touch to grey it down. You can see how it's greyed it down a bit. So a little touch more into here. There we go. There's a nice grey purple. So let's go to the roof and let's paint that whole lot in. Across the top. And also on the roof, getting darker, and I'm going to get a bit lighter on the side here. So on this side, much lighter than that side. Darken this a bit further here. And just let that fade away, and I think I'm going to just darken this a fraction more in this area. Very, very carefully. So I've got that shadow color, light, shadow, light against the dark. This is going to be lighter. See there, I've got the masking fluid over the top. I didn't want to lose that, so right now we can put the hairdryer on. Right, let's pull this off. Feel this in there. Yeah, fingers are very sensitive. He'll soon tell you where there's still masking fluid left over. Right, you need to take out that side as well, and then we need to fill in the lights. Oops, I don't want to pull it upwards. Right, there's masking fluid in here, and there's windowsills, but I'm going to leave that at this stage. Now I've got that grey, and I'm going to use some of that light grey and just come in and start putting in some of the trunks. They're not always brown. Some of them have got grey, green, got moss on them. We first give them one color, and then we'll come along and go over them again. Let's go across there. These little ones, you need to do it reasonably careful. Otherwise you get too many light and dark sides to it. come in with some darker colors and add some darker branches in to connect some of these up in the shade. So take some going to get some of these disappearing into the shade of the foliage. You just need to get all that white away. So let's do this on the other side. Do some here. Once you got all this white away, it starts looking much better. All this white. We'll come into that area there a bit later on, so let's get a bit of the, mix some more of the darker color. All I'm doing is I'm just taking some ultramarine blue with a little bit of burnt sienna again, and it's not dark enough. I just make it a little bit more pigment into it. Let's test it here. At least that's a little bit better. So we don't want it absolutely pitch black. You got some of these branches sort of going in between, and some of these ones down the bottom here are also a little bit on the darker side with a bit of highlight to it. All the little twigs coming in. Dark on the side, shadow down the bottom. Just a whole lot of random little twigs going in. Don't forget, some of them will be sort of going over the other. Some of these are actually also going out the picture. The tree is much higher up. That's enough there for that one at the moment, that side. Let's go to the right hand side and just adding a few little I know it's not in the photograph. In actual fact, the sun in the photograph is coming from this side. I've made it coming from that side. Some of this is in shadow. It's coming up here, so let's see. Darker down here. And we also need some little twigs in this area. All the little smaller trees in the back, you'll see them much darker. All the little saplings, a lot of saplings. Okay, so we need a bit of a grey wall in here. Can be a different colour. I just want to add down a bit there. That's better. And right, let's take some of this green and they just to get rid of the white, using the tops of the bushes. And then take a little touch of the darker colour also into there to merge it in. It's just like very light colour. I'm just painting, getting some of the colours over that. So it blends it into the, as part of the other. So let's do that. So there it is. You got movement in there, but it's not too obvious and too stark. So let's here do the same. Some of that green color in. A lot of little twigs are also green, young twigs and young branches, and there's a bit of marshy fluid there that didn't come off. See, the paint just runs over the top. Okay, little touch of this. Some yellow in there, right. I'm going to take some of this grey and let's put in this now. And then we'll put the shadow in underneath that one when it's dry. Now we need a little touch of orange again. There's my little bit of orange here. Take a bit of that. And bring some of that in with a bit of the brown to give it that wood colour. I know everything else is grey, but I'm going to give it some nice wood colour in there. Let's give this bit of sunshine on that. Now let's lift some of that colour out and put some orange in there. Okay, a little touch of orange. And some orange in this lot to warm that up. There's a little touch of orange in here. We come up a bit of orange. And give it some ground color. Just sort of scumbling this over the top. Brush, take it flat, and just give it a bit of texture. Edge. I'm going to go right to the top. I'm going to get some here, right next to the house and out. Now I'm going to come with some very, very, very light orange. I'm going to work on the wall. So let's go to here. I'm going to take a little touch of this orange that I've got in here. But very, very light. Hardly any, it's not quite orange, but let's just check it on the piece of paper. There, that's fine. I'm going to take that, and I'm going to run that right inside here. It's got that warmth. Just inside here. Very light. And that nice sunshine feeling is getting there. Lightly over the whole lot. Even over all this. Oops, pick up a bit too much there. Bring that in. Well, we've got some stonework, so we can incorporate that in with some of the stonework. We've got that change of color in that area. So let's bring some of that down into here. And there's some in between here. Let's put a bit more of this browny, orangey color down the bottom. And little patches as well. And some very, very light patches on here. Just a few little areas. And what I'm doing here almost gives it already just a little touch of that brickwork, or the masonry work. So we've got that. So let's fill in this little bit down here. Get rid of that white paper. So take some of this green that I've got just left on the palette and just bring some of that in, yellowy green. Right across. And we'll add a little area there with the the water goes across. Right, here I've got that stonework there, went over. Let's take some of that out there. Bit of masking fluid. Okay. I'll take some of this grey and add it in over. That will also give me some movement on the ground and make this part here actually very simple. Let's just soften those edges. There you go. And bring that some in. This area here will also be a little bit on the grey side with a little bit of green into it. And let's say that water's going to go down this end here. So we got some of that, we got some shadows in down here. Okay, let's do the little brickwork on the other side. Take some more of this grey colour. Some more of this purpley grey. Add a bit of water into it. We don't want it too dark at this stage. So let's have a look. We've got all the stonework here. So I'm sort of just guessing where all the little stonework's going to be. Let that dry a little bit. I'm going to take also some of that grey. And there's some shadow coming in from wherever. In this area here is going to be a little bit darker where the actual channel is. That little stonework. I'm going to make a nice dark brown. That's my two favourite colours. burnt sienna, and ultramarine blue. Now, right, let me take the smaller brush, and I'm going to add the shadow on the side. And shadow underneath that. Dark shadow to give me that post. And there we've got that shadow there, that shadow underneath, that post coming across here. And we got another one here. There's some shadows all in this little area. I'm not sure exactly what they're all about, but let's put that a bit lighter in there. Just a few little marks. And then across here. And across here is where the little plank goes across a little channel, and it's also in the side of that channel is also a little bit brown worked out inside this little area that drops down. Okay, now we're going to some more of the little darker color. Now we're going to lift out this. There's a shadow underneath this. Under each one of these there's a shadow. Let's make that one behind there. And then we have that little wooden bridge. And underneath here there's also the planking is also a bit dark there, so let's do that. This here is also going to have some old wood colouring to it. The side here is also going to be a bit on the darker side. All that corner is just about finished. You got that little part of the wall across there, top of the wall, and a few little marks in it. Take the grey. add like a little pathway here. A few little tweaks on the side. And that's masking fluid. I'm going to take that off. So let's have a look inside here. I'm going to put a very light browny color across here. Very lightly over the top. Give you that stonework. A bit lighter as it goes across here. A bit more in the sunshine. Parts in the shadow. It's darken up a bit of this area here. Get that sort of some movement on the ground. I'm not going to put any bushes or anything. We need to come along and just sort of darken up that little edge, give it like a bit of a channel in there. Just a little bit, not more than that. Cross it here. Just the impression. Let's get rid of that little white spot there. And we're coming close to the end. We're just going to add some little brickwork in there. But let's the hair dryer on. Let's remove this masking fluid here. Right, that should be the last of the masking fluid. Okay. This one I'm going to make it a little bit more brown. A bit darker than the others, so let's take that, a little touch of blue into it, and we get this just a little piece inside there. We don't want to make it too let's darken it up a little bit. A little dry bush. It's like the mill, giving up the ghost. That should be enough there just to break that. I think what we need is something across here. Your eye's going to follow this, and let's take this and have another little one across there, and let's add a little touch of green to that, a touch of yellow, and we've got a few little flowers on it. Where can we put another little touch of red? Just a little touch in there. Not much, just enough to bring something right. Now, dark color again. Ultramarine blue, burnt sienna. Now we got the gaps in between the bricks, or the stonework. So very lightly, just add some. Very randomly. But in between, just to give that look. We'll have very light, so only a few marks there, and yet as I put it in, it all of a sudden brings the bricks out. Very impressionistic. There's a big piece in here. Some are a bit bigger than the others, others a bit smaller. The shade, not much. Just look how randomly I'm putting them in. Hang out. So there we got that wall. There's a bit of a gap in this wall here. Going in there. And some quite dark in here. Little dark patches. It's just randomly, just to give movement in the back. Down in this corner. Underneath here. A few little darker colors. And we've got a few bits of brickwork. Let's see here. A few little marks. Actually, I've just noticed now, there's a big pole over here, which is here, out through the wall. It's like a cantilever for picking up stuff. Okay. So, a little touch of yellow ochre. You've got some of these lintels over the top. A little touch of yellow ochre. Now we need to just add a few little marks, and this is also some yellow ochre is also in there. Just a few random marks, just to show that there's a brickworks, but don't try and regiment them, and they're going to be a few colors. Some smaller, some bigger than the others. A few marks in here too. A few little browny marks, darker browner. Just about done. A little bit too wide, so I need to, that's the background showing through, so you need a bit of that background color. And we got the hairdryer. And let's zoom in a little bit. And you can see that I've made this house, this building stand out much more than in the actual photograph itself. So let's bring that into there. See, even the wall across there is nice and dark. It's got different shadings in it. In other words, I've not kept it just one color. Got a bit of shadow here, got a bit of sunshine on this one. You've got that little hole in the wall coming across there. I've got this lightened up this area and up the top end here to give you a distance so you can walk around the back. You've got the dark against the light, the dark against the light coming down, reflection coming up, and then some little details inside here. You know, we can go a little bit more finicky and add all sorts of other things inside here, but you start coming into, you know, when do you actually stop? You see in the photograph there's a little touches of green here, so let's add a little touch of green in just to add a bit of freshness into this. Add some green. Just makes that a little bit of a difference. So let's cross here. Careful on the edge. Just leave it like that. It balances out a little bit there. So, you know, when you carry on, when you stop. So, I hope that you've enjoyed that. Here we go. We've got the nice little mill. We've taken a walk. We've painted it for posterity, so that even if somebody breaks it down for some unknown reason, we've got a nice little painting of it. So, enjoy yourself. From my side, keep well until next time. God bless. Bye-bye.